Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and I'm going to be showing you the short handover demonstration on the Auto Trail Imala 615, which is a 2020 model. So to drain your wastewater off, so this is your grey water in your holding tank underneath. This is all the water you've used, your shower water, dishes water, hand-based water. Normally you drive over a motorhome service point on the way out, and there's normally a gully or a grid in the floor where you've just got to drive as close to or on top, and then you just allow the water to drain off. To hook the vehicle up, so once you arrive on site, this is going to be the first thing you're going to do. So you lift the flap up, lift the flap on the hooker blade and slide it over, and once it clicks in, it is on. Always hook the vehicle up first, then the point, as we don't want to walk around with a live lead should it be damaged or should it be wet. We don't want you to get an electric shock. This is your gas blocker, so LPG, liquid petroleum gas. This is where your gas bottles are kept. So you can fit 2 6-kilogram gas bottles on board. You can tie them in once they are in with the straps provided. You'll need a spanner, adjustable spanner. It's a left-hand thread, then nip it up and press the button here. Once you've turned the bottle on, press the button. So this is a crash valve that for 3 seconds, and it allows the gas through into the vehicle. Always turned off when you travel. In here, so your toilet's in here. This is where you do the biz. This is where the business ends up. And should the cassette be shut like so, you'll get the cassette out. You've got wheels to decart your waste to the waste disposal point without carrying it. You have to empty, take the cap off, go to your waste disposal point, which is normally beside or behind the toilet block. Press the button. This just stops, lets air in, stops it glugging. Tip it away, and then normally there's a tap there. Put some water in, give it a slosh around, tip it out again. If you are using a liquid, a cap full of liquid straight into the cassette like so, or if you are using the tablets for the cassette, put a pint of water back into the box and drop a cassette tablet straight down the toilet, and it will break up into the liquid. Your wastewater drains here, fresh. So your fresh water, so your waste at the front, your fresh is here, so blue for fresh. So you can turn that and let your water out. So same with the waste, you'll drive over a grid or a hole in the ground or close to a gully and just allow it to drain. If you are wild camping, don't carry around you'll have to carry a full tank of water with you. But if you are not, and you're going to a site, if this is full, drain it down to about 20 litres. If you're going on a longer drive where you probably want to stop and use the toilet, or have a cup of tea on board once you get sick of driving for a bit. If you aren't and you're going home, you'll need to drain it all off, and in the winter you want no water in the holding tanks below, so you'll want to drain both of it off. Then you'll want to drain the boiler, which is a separate tap inside the vehicle, which I'll show you once we're on board. Come around the back of the vehicle. These are your bikes, so if you did want to fit a bike rack, these are your fuel bars where the body's been strengthened to take a bike rack. And you've got your high level brake light and bullet style reverse camera. On the passenger side at the rear, this is your water filler. So you've got a key, which is a separate key with a little key here. This locks this flap. Basically put a hose pipe into there and clip it in until it overflows, or you can see inside the level, so it'll go up in 25, 50, 75 and 100 litres of fresh water on board, which you can see on board. Inside, in here you've got your step switch, so this works your step, which comes down like so, but once the engine's put on, it automatically goes in. And when you've got your fridge vent, you've got your boiler vent, your external barbecue with your spigot, so you'll need some Jubilee clips and some gas hose. Put that into the gas hose and clip it on with a Jubilee, and clip the other end with a Jubilee clip to your Kadak or your external barbecue, and tighten. and just push on and turn on, and it'll run your gas appliance off your bottles on board, so it saves you bringing another one with you. And then here you've got your leisure battery, which is showing you from inside, and a good amount of storage. Coming to the passenger door, you have your diesel, which opens with the main fade key to drive the van, and your AdBlue. So this is about a 20-litre tank. It'll indicate when it comes on the dash, and you basically top it up as soon as it comes on, otherwise it'll give you a mileage countdown until simply it just won't start. But you can get that at most fuel stations now, as it's a requirement on most Euro 60 engines, diesel engines. On here you've got your slam panel, you've got your tyre pressure, so 5.5 bar front and back, which is 79.5 psi on the rear and the front, so all round. Tool kits underneath the seat there, so you've got a jack and a brace, a torn eye, and a screwdriver in there. And underneath you've got your access to your battery, so underneath this cover is access to your battery, so should you need to change the battery or get access to it, you've got it in there. And to open your bonnet, your bonnet release is just on the side of the passenger dashboard. And then your secondary catch is just underneath above your auto trail badge. And then you've got your weight, so this vehicle is gross vehicle weight 3.5 tonne. If you were to put a trailer on it to anything, you can tow up to 4,750. And then you've got your front and back axle weights. This is for a earth for a jump lead or a charger, and your positive for jump starting the vehicle. Put your key in here and pull it back and lift this cover off. Put your red crocodile clip onto there for your jump leads or charger. You've got your paint code here for your Grigio aluminium silver. This is just a standard fade colour. You've got your oil cap, and so this is where you'd fill the vehicle with oil. And then you've got your dipstick where you can check your levels, your brake fluid, your radiator fluid. This all lifts off to get access to that to fill when you get the vehicle serviced. But the main one you're going to need when you're out on the open road is your screen wash, which is located in the driver's side corner. Once inside the vehicle, you have your main control panel this side and your heating system. So your digital Truma combi heating system, but I'll go through your main control panel first. So once you come into the vehicle, if you press the on button, you'll either get 12 volt if you aren't hooked up and you're solely running off your leisure battery, or if you are hooked up on site you will get 230 volt. Below the power button, you have your light switch. This is a master switch for all the lights, and they are all individually switched around the vehicle. And below that you have your pump. So your pump will kick in, start pressurising like it is now. This services your tap in the kitchen, your tap in the bathroom, your shower and your toilet. So it must be on when using those appliances, unless you will just get whatever's left in the pipe. And then on this side you have your outside light. So this is your awning light, which is located above the door. So should you be sitting out on a nice night, you can put your awning light on, or if you just go off for a walk and it comes back and it's getting a little bit darker, you can put your awning light on before you go to find your vehicle. Then you have your levels. So if you go through here, so you go this is the main start, so you can go. Your leisure battery is showing 13.5 volts and charging because we are hooked up. Once the hookup is taken out, it will read a true reading of what the power in the battery is. And then if you click again, your vehicle battery is 13.4 volts and charging as we are hooked up. So the charger is splitting the charge between the leisure battery and the engine battery. And then if you click again, your waste is water in your holding tank underneath the van is 0, and your fresh water is 75% of water that you have on board. You can then select the battery. You always want the battery to be selected on leisure. Never run the motorhome habitation side of the engine battery, as you will flatten it and you'll have to have a jump start. It tells you internal and external temperature, and then you can set timers on there. Coming to this side, you have your Truma heating system, so just wait to turn on, press and hold the wheel, and then you've got, and then press the wheel to get in. And this one, the van flashing with a thermometer in is the temperature of the van, so you can have it all the way to off or all the way to 30 degrees. Once you're happy, just press the wheel that presets that. So we're heating the van at 28 degrees. And then next to it you have the thermometer and the water. This is hot water, so you've got off, so don't put the hot water on unless you have water on board. Off, eco, which takes less electric or gas. Hot or boost, so boost prioritizes the water to the heating, so should you be on boost it will boost your hot water. So for this we'll just say hot and then press the wheel and save. Next one is the energy source you're running off, so this is gas, electric or a mixture. So you'd use gas if you're wild camping on your own and not hooked up. You'd use a mixture of 1 kilowatt and gas, or you could use a mixture of 2 kilowatt and gas. This is what you'd use more. On your oven here you've got 3 gas rings and 1 240 hot plate. So to operate, use the sparker on the front and then you can pull your gas rings on. So you've got 3 lit like so, and then you do have 1 electric hot plate here which operates here, so the closest one to the bathroom, and then below you've got a light for your oven, and your oven controls this one here, so turn and press the spark igniter and your oven's lit. The oven's lit there. Tip is, take all your oven shelf and grill pan out when travelling or wrap them up, as these can cause a bit of noise. And then in here you've got your grill. So allow the thermocouple to get warm before you release the button, like so, and take this out when travelling or wrap it up like I've previously said. Below your oven you've got a storage, so if you just push that, you've got your 2 plugs there for your, one for your oven. So if you've got any problems with your hot plate you can isolate, and one will be for your electric sockets on the worktop and your water pumps underneath there, so it's a good place to store pots and pans under here. And then you do have your sockets, so you've got 3 sockets on a tower here, so if you lift the chrome catch up and pull this up, you've then got 3 sockets and you can turn them on and off here. But that main plug underneath the oven is for if you need to isolate these sockets and to put the sockets back down. If you push that small red catch out and you can push it down. In the lockers above you've got your plates and your cups and your ball racking, just to keep them nice and safe when travelling. You've got your cutlery drawer, and then you do have some storage. Also in the kitchen you've got 2 switches, so you've got your entrance light and you've got your switch here for your step, so this will make this go in and come out. To operate your Dometic fridge, if you press and hold, the fridge will turn on, and then you do have 3 sources. So you've got 230 electric when hooked up on the plug, you've got gas which will self-ignite, and you do have a battery setting which will fail as it's failed now because the engine isn't running. So if you were on site or the vehicle was stored at home, the idea with the battery setting is to pre-cool the fridge first on either gas or electric. So if you were at home or your storage yard has got hook the van up the day before you go away. Go off and get your shopping, bring your shopping, put it in the fridge overnight. Then when you do come to depart and leave for your holiday or your trip away, put it onto the battery. It will fail until the engine starts. Once the engine is running, it'll send a 12-volt feed to your fridge, and it will keep the fridge at the same temperature it was whilst you are on the road. So it's designed just to keep the shop nice and fresh no matter how long you drive. And then on here you've got your temperature, so 1 bar being the warmest all the way to 5 being the coldest. And then inside you have got your removable freezer compartment, just got clips underneath. And then in the winter, once you've cleaned your fridge out and you're storing the van, if you just push this catch in and you can slide this out, once you've cleaned it out, it stops the fridge from shutting fully, so you can get your fingers in there, and it means that air can circulate around the fridge in and out and stop any mould and bacteria growing in your fridge. To operate your Thetford toilet, make sure the pump's on. You've got a blue button on the back. If you press and hold that, the fan will kick in. To stop the fan, you just press it. You'll be able to press and hold it, you'll hear the pump there. And then if we lift the lid on the toilet, it's filled with water. And to deposit your waste into your cassette, you've got a grey lever here. So if you do slide it to your right, open the trapdoor on the cassette and deposit your waste. Like I've said outside, this must be closed to get the cassette out the exterior of the vehicle, or you won't get it out. And then coming back to your flush button, you've also got your green light. When that goes red, it indicates that the cassette is 3/4 to nearly full and requires to be taken out, changed and topped back up with chemical. In your bathroom, you've also got your skylight. So to operate your skylight, push the button in and pull the lever back, or you do have 2 grooves where you can slide it in if you wanted to breathe in the summer. You've got a blackout blind and you've got a fly screen. Your cupboard, so you've got a little catch on the back of your cupboards, so just push that in there, then you've got a bit of storage for all your toiletries. And you've got your shower with a hanging rail, so wet towels, wet coats, any wet clothing, hang them up in here, and once the heating's on it gets lovely and toasty and your clothes will dry in no time. And your shower screen, it's got a little catch on here, so a turn buckle, so allow the turn buckle to be turned and like so, to keep the shower screen in place when travelling, or it will clatter about. And then when you do winterize the vehicle, make sure that all your taps are in the middle position and leave them open. So your kitchen tap, your hand basin tap and your shower tap, and you can take the shower off and allow the hose to lie in the shower tray to stop any water build up. In the cupboard above your driver's seat in the overhead locker, you have your power supply unit. So this is where you'll find all your fuses for your 12-volt power supply, which are all listed. So it would be a good idea to go and buy some spare fuses and carry them with you, just in case a fuse does blow. You can fit a new fuse and fix your problem. And on this side you've got all your 2 30-volt trips, same as in your household. You've got your system shutdown button on the top to stop any drains on the battery, and you've got your charger and your heater. These must be on when on 230 volts, so just leave them as they are. If you're wild camping, they wouldn't be on anyway. They only work when you are hooked up. You've got your solar panel, so that's indicating it's charging. You don't need to do anything with that, but you do have here your solar charge selector. So your little rocker switch, so off in the middle, tops to battery. So if it was standing, you might want the charge to go to the battery to help the battery keep its charge, or you've got the bottom, which is your leisure battery. And then this number here is your build number from when it was built at the Auto Trail factory in Grimsby. So should you need any warranty claims or parts, if you quote that number, we'll then quote Auto Trail it, and we'll know what your vehicle is, what specification it was built to, and what parts were used on your vehicle. Located In your bench seat behind the passenger seat is your boiler. So your Truma boiler holds 10 litres of water at any one time. In the winter, it is crucial that you get the water out of the boiler, as if it freezes it will break the boiler and it costs a lot to repair or replace and isn't covered under warranty, unfortunately, as it's your responsibility to drain the vehicle down. So you've got a small tap here, so if you lift the tap up in the winter and stand it up like so, it will drain all the water out. So stand it on end and leave it until you come to reuse the van. It will drain the 10 litres of water directly underneath the chassis, and then when you do come to reuse it, put it down like it is now, fill the van with water, put the pump on and pull the water through. On the cold side it should come through automatically, and then pull it through on the hot side, it'll cough, it'll splutter, and what that is doing is it's just bringing all the air out the boiler through the taps until you get a steady flow, and then you can go onto the shower and your bathroom tap for your sink. When I'm down here, you've also got your gas taps, so these isolate all your gas appliances on board the van. Should you have a problem with gas, turn it off at the top of the bottle, but you can't isolate each appliance there. They are mainly for when the vehicle is serviced by our hab technicians. And then at the front of the locker, underneath here, you have your leisure battery and your main fuse for your battery there. To make your 2 extra bits, pull the bed out like so, and then if you slide your mattress over and push it back, you've got a bar in here that clips on like so. So if you've got children who tend to roll around in their sleep, they'll not fall out the luton. And then you've got your ladder at the back which clips on here, and then when you are travelling, just fold it over and it allows you to have more headroom stepping from the cab into the vehicle. To operate your Avtex TV, which is a drop down telly, you've got a travel catch here, so if you loosen the travel catch off, the telly will slide down. If the telly does get stuck, you've got a lever here so you can pull it and the telly will come down. Using the remote, if you press the on button and point it to the red light in the driver's side of the cab, it will come on.
A week to remember for Jim Crowley.
And
Simon Clare from Corals has just messaged me to say...
in here you've got your digital TV, like so. But you do have source, so if you press source you can change it. So if you do get a satellite fitted to the vehicle, it is a satellite ready. It's got DVD on the side, on this side. And if you did have any Fire Sticks or Now TV boxes, you can put them on the HDMI. When you do change sites, so once you take the van away from us, you will have to retune the telly once you get home if you are going to be sitting and watching the telly in the van or playing around with the vehicle. Or when you do go to a site, if you just press AQT, big orange button here, press and hold, ask you what country you're in, it's automatically set the UK, just press OK and it'll do an auto search and find as many channels as it can in your area. Now inside the cab, I will show you cab controls on your Fiat Ducato. So at the right of the driver, you've got your handbrake down to your right. You've got your blinds on your cab windows, so if you just pinch them, slide them along like so. And then you've got the same on the windscreen. Just slide along. The tip is, if it's going to be a windy, blustery night, put elastic band or bobble around here, as it's just a magnet. And if the van is moving ever so slightly, they will ping open. You've got your electric windows, driver and passenger side, and your mirrors. So you've got your top and your blind spot. Then on this side you've got your fog lights and headlight adjustment. Your trip computer goes through that screen in the middle here, show your range, your instant and consumption, your average consumption, your miles per gallon, your distance travelled, your travelling times, there's trip A and B in there. On the steering wheel you've got your volume and your mute, you've got your hands free, you can scroll through your contacts and you can change your radio channels on there. Lights and indicators, cruise control at the top and speed limiter at the bottom. You can slow the vehicle down by going up and down with the stalk instead of putting the brake on, or speed the vehicle up by holding. It'll go up in 5s. On the end here you've got cancel, so if you've had your cruise control on, you've had to put your foot on the brake, you can resume it by just pressing the end of the stalk and it'll go back to the speed it originally set. You've got your 6-speed gearbox, so you lift the collar to go in reverse like so, and this will come on the reverse camera. That's just your step going in, and there's your reverse camera there. You've got your ASR off, it's just another word for traction control off. Your hazard lights, this locks all your cab door and your habitation door, and then you have got your heated mirrors, so if your mirrors are wet or it's misty, put them on and they'll clear up nicely for great visibility. USB for charging, 12 volt for charging. Your other USB in the top glove box, which is heated and cooled by the air conditioning, that is for streaming your music, so you can plug your devices into the head unit. So that's a great place to keep sweets and chocolate if you are on the road, if the air con's on, because it keeps it nice and cool. You've got a clipboard there, but it also works as a phone holder, so you can put your phone in and then lock it into place, and then like so, and then if you press and hold you'll be able to start your radio like so. So this is the Accent Motorhome Pacific's head unit for the 2020 season. So here you've got your radio, so if you go to the home you've got navigation, just requires the card to go in there, so we'll put the card in and then that'll work. The card just goes in here. You've got an FM tuner, you've got a DAB tuner, which is what everyone uses these days instead of FM, but if you're struggling to get DAB you can obviously cross over to FM, and you can load, once it loads you can press 1 to 6 to save your channels. You've got a short button, cut buttons here for nav, cam, so if you did want to see behind you when travelling forward you can put that on as a way of a rear view camera. And then you do have your USB should you be connected, your Bluetooth so you can pair your phone, find the code, it'll probably be called Accent or something similar, and press pair, make sure the codes match, and it'll ask you to pair your contacts, and then your head unit is in to your phone. You've got your settings, you've got your iPod which will work when you are hooked up to your device through the USB, and HDMI if you ever use it as a TV, which you're probably not. And Easy Connect works through the USB as well. And then you do have your map lights here which work on the car. These lights work on the leisure battery once you're stationary. You've got fade camera assist number on your driver's visor,